Welcome to Chaps Out Culture, where my guests return to recommend LGBTQ plus culture that helped shape and inspire them. This is Chaps Out Culture, and I'm joined again by Gil, and he was my guest on Chaps Out. And if you haven't listened to Chaps Out already, go back and have a listen. So, Gil, you're going to tell us about some cultural recommendations of yours.
The film The Imitation Game, but it's about Alan Turing, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, who saved us from the war, but simply because he was gay at a time when it was illegal, he was really punished for it, medically castrated and everything, and really worth a watch, I would think. And that is like my earliest cultural reference of gay life, like before it was legal. That leads me on to It's a Sin, the 80s and the AIDS epidemic and
Mm,
everything, which just broke my heart to watch. And then, of course, Russell T Davies did Queer as Folk.
yeah,
That was the first time we'd kind of like seen certain things on TV.
yeah,
And then that brings me on to the American version of Queer as Folk,
yeah.
which had, more series, 5 series, it had a comedy element to it, and it hit really, taboo issues at that time, like being HIV positive and it
Mm,
being a death sentence at the time, and do you date someone with HIV? About marriage being illegal where they lived, so they had to go to Canada. These kind of issues that kind of affect single, same-sex couples, the lesbian couple who then wanted to separate, but they now have 2 children. What to do about that? So,
mm.
Queer as Folk American is also worth a watch. As is, I was told to watch the comedy Overcompensating. That's a funny one to watch as well. About a gay university student trying too hard to, yeah, first of all, pretend he's straight and things like that. That's funny. They make it funny. And then the more recent one I've heard about was Looking, which has
Yeah.
Russell Tovey in it, and that is also a bit retro, but definitely worth watching. It's in San Francisco, and all these issues that gay men face, like cruising, dating, family,
Mm.
very funny. And then that brings me to Julian Clary had a very funny comedy, Terry and Julian. If you're a fan of Julian Clary,
Yeah.
that is definitely worth a watch, I would say.
Brilliant. Yeah, yeah.
That's it. And if I'm talking about recommendations in person, Julian Clary's London Panto, that's on my in my calendar every year. His annual Panto, very funny. Julian Clary at his best. And this year, he's had both Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders individually, and he gets to have them both this year. So what's not to like? In terms of books, I keep being told you need to read The Velvet Rage. I still haven't got around to reading it yet. It's on my list. I will get there eventually. It's all about why gay men are the way they are. And there's another one I've got that gets recommended called Straight Jacket as well. But I do know what book is on my list next. Yeah, Mark Foster, our legendary swimmer. Yeah, he's released a book as well. So
I went to
yeah.
school with Mark.
Did you?
Um,
Oh, shut up.
yeah, he was a year above me at junior school. I was friends with him actually. I remember going to his house. Yeah, he wasn't out until very late, and I think a lot of people had a problem with that. But I always remembered with Mark Foster when we had the swimming races in at junior school. It was only a small swimming pool, but everyone would have like a length head start, and he would dive in and he would do a butterfly. I mean,
Wow.
this is like a 10 or 11-year-old doing the butterfly, and he
Uh-huh.
would just burn down the thing and then come back and beat everybody. And you're like, this guy is amazing. But and Sarah Hardcastle, who was another British swimmer, she was a year above. So it was a big South End on Sea had a big swimming scene. So you get all these kids who would be getting up at 4 in the morning, or whatever, and swimming a lot, and then they come to junior school having been swimming already.
And I'm sure that he will make reference to those 4 a.m. starts and, because I'm sure there's going to be a bit about his childhood and everything.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah, I don't think it'll mention me, but well, he might mention the junior school. You never know. I'm sure he'll mention Sarah Hardcastle because she was a year above and she won a silver, a bronze, or something. I remember watching her in like Olympics.
And there's someone else I want to, give praise where praise is due. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Tom Daley, in one of the
Oh yeah.
Commonwealth Games, when they're allowed to fly the LGBTQ flag, he deliberately chose people from countries where it's illegal still.
Mm.
And they, it was really heartwarming to see that they could be their true selves at the
Mm,
Commonwealth Games. It's not illegal to fly an LGBT flag here at the Commonwealth Games, and he deliberately picked people from those countries where it's illegal to do that. And it was just a very heartwarming thing to do. So
yeah.
well done, Tom. And I definitely recommend the film called Pride for a bit of, LGBTQ history as well. Lesbians and gays protect the minors. It was all about and bringing, lesbians and gays, uh, coming together with the mining community
Mm,
in somewhere really rural. I think it might be in Wales. I can't remember, but
yeah.
that's a really touching, moving film. Which brought me to kind of tears at the end of it. And it's all based on a true story.
That is a great film, and it's sort of really unlikely bedfellows, the miners and the gay community like that coming together. But yeah, that sort of shows what it was like back in the day. That if you were certainly being oppressed by the government or something like that, there'd be a kindred spirit, and they'd recognize that and come together and strength in numbers and that. So yeah, brilliant film. I think I watched that straight after coming out. So probably the first thing I watched just to kind of watch it again, and it really made me sort of feel a great little buzz. It's a good British movie that.
It is, and yeah, I remember seeing that. I think I went to Dublin Pride, and on the eve of Dublin Pride, they viewed that, they showed that,
Ah,
yeah, at some kind of venue, and it was quite a nice way to start off the Pride weekend by seeing that film. I'd never known of it, or I never knew that actually happened.
yeah.
Yeah, that was really nice to see. And I think there's going to be, I don't know if it's connected with Terry Higgins Trust. I did see something on Thursday, the 21st of May. I think it's at the Royal Vauxhall Tavern. And I've got it here. Yeah, Pride and Perverts on Central Tickets discount app. It's only £4.
Oh,
And it says, an evening celebrating and commemorating Mark Ashton, lost to AIDS in 1987, founder of Lesbian and Gays Support the Minors.
brilliant. Oh, great little plug. Well, hopefully this will be out by then. So, all right, Gil, thank you very much. It's
Thank you.
been absolutely brilliant talking to you and your brilliant recommendations. You take care.
Cheers.
Thanks again to Gil. Lots of great recommendations there to check out. If you enjoyed this episode of Chaps Out Culture, please subscribe or follow wherever you listen. Give us a 5-star rating and share to help the podcast reach anyone who may need to hear it. Check out the full interview with Gil on the main episode of Chaps Out. See you next time.